Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into an alarming and deeply troubling incident that's making waves across South Africa. An EFF councillor in Tzaneen was violently removed from a municipal council meeting and allegedly assaulted by security personnel. The incident, caught on video and widely shared across social media platforms, has sparked outrage not just from the economic freedom fighters, but from ordinary citizens, political commentators, and human rights groups across the country. In the footage, you can clearly see the EFF councillor being forcibly dragged out of the chamber by guards, his limbs flailing as he resists, with fellow councillors shouting in dismay. Moments later, he is seen lying on the ground, visibly injured, clutching his side. Eyewitnesses at the scene claim that excessive force was used in the process, even though there was no immediate threat to anyone's safety. And that, right there, has sparked a national conversation. Let's unpack exactly what happened. According to reports, the altercation began when the EFF representative allegedly disrupted council proceedings. Now, disruptions in council meetings are not unusual, as opposition parties like the EFF often raise points of order or object to the manner in which proceedings are being conducted. But in this case, the disruption led to a dramatic and arguably over-the-top response. Security personnel were called in, and rather than escorting the councillor out with basic decorum and restraint, they opted for brute force. Now the EFF is crying foul, and understandably so. The party has condemned the act as nothing less than political suppression. In their official statement, they've accused the local council of weaponizing security to silence dissent. This, they argue, is not just about one councillor. It's about a pattern of behavior, one that sees opposition voices being intimidated, muzzled, and physically removed when they challenge the status quo. The ruling party and local council officials, on the other hand, are defending their actions. According to them, the councillor was in clear violation of meeting protocols and refused to leave voluntarily. They say the security team acted professionally and within the scope of their duties to restore order. But this official line hasn't convinced many people, especially when you take into account the broader context. Across South Africa, there has been an unsettling trend of violence and chaos erupting in municipal meetings. We've seen chairs being thrown, microphones being snatched, councillors pushing each other. This isn't just a Tzaneen problem. It's become a reflection of the growing political tension, polarization, and lack of accountability in local governance structures. And it's not just about physical violence. These confrontations are symbolic of a much deeper crisis in our democratic culture. When opposition councillors are manhandled, when debates turn into brawls, and when elected officials feel unsafe expressing their views, then democracy itself is under threat. Let's be clear, no matter where you stand politically, it should never be acceptable for elected representatives to be subjected to violence for doing their jobs. Councillors are elected to represent the will of the people. Silencing them through force doesn't just harm them, it silences the communities they represent. Human rights organizations have weighed in too. Many are warning that the increasing use of force in political spaces is a slippery slope. Today it's a councillor. Tomorrow it could be a journalist, a protester, a citizen trying to hold power to account. If this behavior is normalized, then the very foundation of South Africa's constitutional democracy is at risk. Political analysts have also highlighted a disturbing double standard in how rules and decorum are enforced. When ruling party councillors act out or break protocol, disciplinary processes are often slow or even ignored. But when opposition figures, particularly from the EFF, raise objections, they're treated with swift and disproportionate retaliation. That kind of imbalance only adds fuel to the fire. And here's another aspect that's often overlooked: what are the psychological and reputational consequences for the councillor involved? Being assaulted on the job, in full view of the public, can be deeply traumatizing. It sends a message not just to him, but to every up-and-coming activist or aspiring politician: if you speak out, if you stand up, you might be dragged out too. The EFF has made it clear they will not let this slide. They vowed to pursue legal action and hold the council and the security team accountable. And it's not just about compensation or public apologies. They're pushing for systemic changes to prevent this from happening again, to ensure that council chambers are spaces for debate, not battlegrounds for power. The incident has already worsened tensions between the EFF and the ruling party in the municipality. And with local elections on the horizon, this kind of confrontation could either galvanize support or deepen divisions. Will the public rally behind the EFF, seeing them as victims of political bullying? Or will the ruling party paint the incident as necessary discipline against a disruptive figure? One thing is certain, this won't be the last time we see scenes like this unless there's a serious commitment to transforming how councils operate. Political disagreements are part of democracy. But when they spill over into violence, they erode the very values that democracy is meant to protect. In the end, this story isn't just about Tzaneen. It's a mirror reflecting a much wider crisis. A crisis of respect, accountability, and tolerance in South African politics. And unless we address it head-on, we risk turning our democratic institutions into theaters of violence where only the strongest, not the wisest, survive. So, what do you think? Was this an isolated incident or part of a bigger pattern? Was the use of force justified, or did it cross a line? Should legal action be taken, and how should councils reform their protocols to prevent future violence? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others who care about South Africa's democratic future. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you next time.